heartbreaking loss for a Kentucky family. Police now say a 7-year-old girl who disappeared from a football game was murdered. What her family told us today.
What we have lost is impossible to put into words.
The widow of a Central Kentucky paramedic who died after being injured on duty is speaking publicly for the first time.
Police and post office leaders call it a growing problem in Kentucky. WKYT investigates marijuana by mail.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening to you. Police found her dead after she disappeared from the football game that she was watching. And today a medical examiner ruled a 7-year-old Kentucky girl was murdered.
Police say that Gabby Doolin's body was found in a creek behind Allen County Scottsville High School, where the game was being played Saturday night. And so far, they have not made any arrests, but police say they're checking on some leads. This afternoon, our Phil Pendleton talked to Gabby's brother and father. It's our top story at 6.
Gabby Doolin's father wanted his son Alec to tell us what his 7-year-old sister meant to him.
I'm gonna miss her. She was always so happy about everything. No matter what was going on, she was always happy. It made everybody feel better.
The little girl was at Alec's Little League football game Saturday night when police say she disappeared from sight. 30 minutes later, she was found murdered near a creek in a wooded area behind the high school.
She loved to color. She loved to read.
Since her death, her community has flooded the family with support. A GoFundMe page had already raised thousands of dollars by Monday.
That means everything. Donations, we appreciate that, but I'd give anything to have my baby back.
The superintendent says that trained guidance counselors will be at every school tomorrow, stating that he realizes that all the children are going to need all the love and support they can receive.
And they're all trained in crisis response, specifically trained on how to address the needs of small children, questions they may have.
Since word of the tragedy got out, a makeshift memorial of stuffed animals and angels was made near the spot where she was found.
And you know, I have an 8-year-old granddaughter myself, and you know, never know when somebody's going to have to come and comfort you someday.
The funeral for Gabby Doolin will be at 1 o'clock Thursday at the Goad Funeral Home in Scottsville. In Allen County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Certainly heartbreaking. Police have not said anything about possible suspects. They're also not releasing any details about the autopsy.
Tonight, police are trying to track down suspects they say are connected to the deadly attacks in Paris, France that killed 129 people. French officials identified the alleged mastermind of the attacks, a Belgian man who's now believed to be in Syria. Police also surrounded the suspected hideout of a man identified as a driver for the attackers, but he wasn't there. France's president wants to bring the U.S. and Russia together in a coalition to defeat the Islamic State group. But President Obama again said today he would not send U.S. ground troops to fight the group. And more than a dozen governors now say their states will not accept any Syrian refugees brought to the U.S. But as Kristen Kennedy tells us, Kentucky is not among them for now.
The Paris attacks are prompting governors across the nation to tighten their policies on refugees. While more than 12 governors are reviewing current rules, some have already made the decision to stop the resettlement of new Syrian refugees.
There is reason to step back and make sure that the vetting processes are as thorough as possible. We don't want to come off xenophobic, but we also don't want to open the doors unwittingly to people who could come in concealed and cause problems here in America.
Former FBI agent Clay Mason is encouraging the governor to work with the State Department.
As long as I'm governor, we're going to be looking at the Syrian refugee problem on a case-by-case basis.
Governor-elect Matt Bevin thinks differently, releasing this statement late Monday afternoon. My primary responsibility will be to protect the citizens of the Commonwealth. This is why I am opposing the resettlement of Syrian nationals until we can better determine the full extent of any risks to our citizens.
Kentucky Refugee Ministries resettled 3 Syrian families in central Kentucky this year. They went through a 2-year vetting process.
There are layers upon layers upon layers of checks before people actually arrive.
Barbara Klein works with refugees in Lexington. She says they go through more than 30 security and medical checks before they can settle in the U.S.
The people that you see on the news every night tonight and who are just now arriving in Europe, if any of those people are admitted to the U.S. as refugees, it's going to be after they go through all of those steps, and it is not going to be anytime soon.
In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Today, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul introduced legislation that would suspend visas from being issued for countries with a high risk of terrorism. Governor Beshear is also looking back at his 8 years in office. 3 weeks from tomorrow, his term as governor will end. Late this afternoon, our Jennifer Palumbo sat down with Governor Beshear to talk about the last 8 years and what's next in his life. You'll see that interview new tonight on WKYT News at 11.
Tonight, a community continues to show its support for the family of a fallen Jessamine County paramedic. John Mackey was hit by a car while on duty. Since then, many central Kentucky businesses have stepped up to help his family. As Mike Linden tells us new at 6, Mackey's wife has a message for those who have helped.
What we have lost is impossible to put into words.
Less than 2 weeks ago, Jessamine County EMS paramedic John Mackey was killed when a car hit him while at work. Fast forward to today, and several local businesses are reaching out to the Mackey family to help.
We're donating 15% of sales to the Mackey family, and this is just the smallest thing that we could do. We wanted to help them out in any other way we can as well.
Raising Cane's representatives say you can continue to donate to the Mackey family even beyond today here at the Keene Center Raising Cane's. Donations of cash and by credit card will continue to be accepted until November 22nd. Just before John's death, he had been working on his home's heating unit, but was never able to get it back in working order. That's when Fayette Heating and Air stepped in.
I thought that he would just be replacing the furnace, but he's actually going to rip out the ductwork and do a complete heating and air system instead.
Fayette Heating and Air CEO Brett Melrose says it's not about the money the installation will cost, it's about the people it helps.
It's not about the money. It's not about the volume of money or the quantity of money or anything. It's about caring and trying to be a better place to live.
While John is gone, his family he leaves behind says the community support has been helpful in their time of loss.
A huge thank you to the entire community, Raising Cane's and all the other people who are doing the fundraisers. Thank you.
In Jessamine County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
A lot of big hearts in central Kentucky. A GoFundMe account set up to help the Mackey family has now raised more than $13,000.
Tonight, hundreds of people have gathered to raise money for the family of a fallen Richmond police officer. The Madison County District and Circuit Clerk's offices and the Sheriff's Honor Guard are hosting the fundraiser at the Madison County Fairgrounds. All of the proceeds from the spaghetti dinner and silent auction will go to help the family of Officer Daniel Ellis.
2 of us in the office have husbands who are on law enforcement, plus we work with them every single day, so we just felt like it was something that we needed to do.
The fundraiser will continue until 10 tonight. It was originally supposed to be a small dinner for law enforcement, but so many people wanted to help, it was moved to the fairgrounds and the public was invited to attend. Well, some rain is moving towards the bluegrass tonight, and you are going to want to keep that umbrella handy the next few days. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what he is tracking on the First Alert Defender.
Yeah, Amber, what's out there now is mainly on the light side. The bulk of the heavier rains, though, have a ticket for the Bluegrass State as we go into especially Wednesday and Wednesday afternoon. Short term, we're looking out across the Hamburg Pavilion area. Christmas holiday shoppers maybe getting an early start at it. Some very light rains falling right now. 53 degrees current temperature. Winds aren't a big player. That's going to change, though, over the next couple of days. Look at our Defender radar network. You're looking at this and you may look outside and you think, okay, we're not seeing a whole lot of rain. Well, a lot of that is evaporating before it gets to the ground. That's why we're saying mainly some sprinkles and some very light showers. Lexington Metro farther south and southwest that we go. Notice how the heavier rains, the far farther east that we go, begin to dissipate somewhat. All of this well out ahead of a massive storm system coming together across the Rocky Mountains. Near blizzard conditions on the backside of it, severe weather outbreak out ahead of that. That's the same storm system that arrives, at least the impact of that arrives in the Bluegrass State as we go into your Wednesday. When I come back in less than 10 minutes, we'll track the increase in heavy rain and wind. And oh, by the way, maybe a little wintry stuff for the weekend.
An illegal trend is being delivered to central Kentucky. Investigators say the legal sale of marijuana in some other states has led to more people sending the drug by mail. And some of those packages end up in states where marijuana is illegal, like Kentucky. Miranda Combs investigates marijuana by mail.
There is no room for error in here. Letters and packages are sorted and sent on. They are kept sealed, but that doesn't mean the sender can't be caught.
You're trying to catch it here before it gets into Lexington.
Yes, Lexington is a destination city, meaning that drugs are typically shipped here from other locations.
And the trend as of late is mailing marijuana.
Well, what we see through the Postal Service most is marijuana.
Roberta Bottoms has been a postal inspector in Lexington for 15 years. She says marijuana has always been a problem for investigators. In fact, years ago, the marijuana was grown in Kentucky and shipped out of the state. Lately, with some states legalizing the drug, it's trendy to send it from a legal state to one where it's illegal, like here.
You cannot mail marijuana legally. If you're shipping marijuana, you are committing a federal crime. See how tight this is? They kind of heat shrink it to, and it's shrink wrapped.
These containers are full of marijuana.
This would have been on the streets of Lexington. I think this one was probably a tip from a local post office. This came out of the mail in the last week or two.
Bottoms says one help for investigators lately is medical marijuana is more potent. The smell was enough to fill the office.
It's hard to disguise this.
This isn't uncommon for postal inspectors.
This is a lot of money. I don't know what the value of it is, but here locally, to sell this locally, yeah, this was a big hit for whoever got it intercepted.
She says there is a formula for how most make it to Lexington. Traffickers get a third party, many times college students, to accept the package and typically pay them for their trouble.
So they may accept a package at their apartment or even at their dorm room for somebody else and be paid $100, $200 to do that. Those people are, in essence, acting as a drug mule.
And the address on the package is where law enforcement will start their investigation.
A lot of times they will say, well, I just was asked to receive a package. I didn't really know what was in it. There's this thing in the law called deliberate blindness. It's not a defense for you to say, I didn't know.
And a federal charge isn't worth the chance.
A lot of times local people are recruited and paid a fairly small amount of money to receive packages from someone who's shipping this from somewhere else. It's not worth someone here locally taking the risk of being a part of a federal crime for a small amount of money.
Postal inspectors work closely with local and federal authorities to find out who is shipping the drugs. Here in Lexington, they say they get drug packages in their office on a weekly basis.
Fascinating. Well, this is a big college town, so there must be some concern about these drug traffickers recruiting students.
Right, and as we all remember, $200 as a college student is a lot of money, so it can be very enticing. But she says, like she said, it's not worth the federal charge.
All right, Miranda, thank you.
One man's trash will soon become a treasure for a central Kentucky plant.
Starting next week, the Toyota plant in Georgetown will begin generating electricity from methane. The methane is a byproduct of trash decomposition at the nearby Central Kentucky landfill. Toyota leaders say this will generate enough energy every year to make about 10,000 vehicles.
As energy costs rise, to be able to generate some of your own energy to offset that cost, but also to offset it in a way that is a renewable energy is a good business decision.
Toyota recently announced it wants to eliminate all carbon dioxide emissions from all of its factories and vehicles by the year 2050.
Now.